I have to drive it, so I volunteered. The goodness of my heart.
Yes. Seeing that the time is now 8:32, sorry, not even.
Hey.
6:32. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Dan Newman, our chair, is running late. So I will start the meeting and we'll begin with a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So with the quorum is here, we have a quorum. And I move we open the meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, meeting is open. The first order of business is public comment. And this is where anyone can bring up a matter that is not on the agenda tonight. And we will review it and perhaps put it on a later agenda. Does anyone have anything for public comment tonight?
I do. I would just like to say, I always do.
The Good News Club. The Good News Club.
Just a big shout out to Belgrade Fire and Rescue Association, if I'm saying it right,
Yes.
for a tremendous beanhole supper on Saturday. It's a tradition that's been around and people love it. I was there working and just all the comments were so positive and just really, really well done, and want to commend that group for their work.
And
Including one of our fellow select board members,
Two of them.
for chairman.
Two.
Dan? Oh, no, Dan wasn't.
Dan wasn't,
Dan was
he was,
He was out back.
He was sporting his beanhole tan.
Yeah. But anyway, give credit where credit's due.
Thank
so.
you. Yes, second that. It was a wonderful event.
thank you. And on same topic, similar note, I would like to thank Kristen for the pies that the kids made during the day. They were amazing. I didn't get any because by the time we ate at the end, they were gone, which is good. But everyone was commenting on how wonderful they were and what a great project for them. And the kids that were there were up there looking for their pieces.
Yeah.
For sure, so.
They
yeah,
wanted,
it was
they
great.
wanted to try their own
Well,
pie.
they just wanted to see where they were.
Yeah.
They were all
They
cut
wanted
up
to make
and
sure they
on
made it
meat.
to the
I
right
mean,
spot.
yes,
Yeah.
they made it up there. So yes,
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
appreciate that.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
That was a great idea.
The kids loved it. It was so fun. We would make that an annual thing for sure.
Yeah, that was
if
great.
You guys continued it. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
That's good.
the facility was very clean.
Oh, good.
Restrooms,
Oh,
that's
people
fair.
did comment about that,
Oh,
that
good.
everything looked really nice this
Great.
year, so.
Great.
The only thing I saw, and making you probably have been dealing with this.
Yeah,
You had about 6 vehicles that doing parking overnight.
and they're going up to the island,
Yeah.
and so they're supposed to park in the far end of the dirt parking lot. They have been very respectful of that, so that was, Bob had come over, talked to me about it, I said, as long as there's no more than 6. He has an event calendar, so I send it to him, were they in the dirt parking
Two of them was no.
lot? Okay, so maybe they were down.
He sent out a really nice letter to anybody that had a boat there,
He did.
which I do,
Yes.
and he sent me a letter saying, if you're gonna park there, park in the dirt,
Yeah.
park by the pool.
He's been very, very supportive. We've really worked on that relationship this year. He gave a very generous donation to the sale program. So, and he's been good on the other side of that. If somebody doesn't do what we ask, that he asks them to move the vehicle.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, right.
Okay, anything else for public comment?
While the pavement, I don't know if this is something we have anything to do with, but while the pavement's going on by the ball field, some of the ball field people have asked if when they're striping it, they could stripe off a section so that people can't park close to the gate entrance, because when they park right there, you can't pull out without getting into traffic before you can see.
We
I don't-
did inquire about that and they told us no, because it was a main route of transportation, but maybe if Lorna.
I don't know if they could put some striping,
It would be
striping or
nice.
something there, might be best to have it. Cause people creep out there and you can't get out, you can't turn and see before you're in the lane.
Agree, yeah,
So-
line of sight.
I think you're gonna have to do the same thing. People have to pay to Like, for no parking slash strike,
Yeah,
strike directly into doing the lanes, I think. But
I'll reach out
if
and
we can
see,
at least make an effort to try that.
sure.
A
I
couple
mean,
people
we'll-
reached out to me about it because they said perfect time, well, they're gonna be set up there. I'll mention it, so.
Yep. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Anything else? Last call for public comment. All right. Next item is to review and approve the minutes of July 15th and 29th. So I move that we approve the minutes of July 15th, 2025.
Second.
Comments, corrections, discussion?
There was one. Where did it go? Where we talked about one of the new policies that had talked about fire and rescue. Auxiliary, and we are an association.
Oh,
I didn't know if that.
it should be close.
I think that's in the warrant, because I flagged it as well.
Okay,
I think it's,
So at the end,
I think it's in one of the warrants, when we come to the warrants,
okay,
because I didn't mark anything here, and I know that I marked it too.
okay, perfect, thank you.
And the history house. Old meeting house, that's also in the warrant. Okay. Moved and seconded, any other discussion on the minutes? No, all in favor? 4 in favor, 1 absent. I move we approve the minutes of July 29th, and here's Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes of July 29th? All in favor? 5 in favor. Okay, you ready to take over, Dan? Okay. We're on unfinished business. You came right in time.
finished as it can be here.
Give it a guys. Call us to order when you need to. In case we get rowdy.
All right. So we get the
Village and code enforcement, also violation.
I don't see Kate here unless she's on soon. Yeah, yeah, I emailed her, reminded her, we went back and forth.
You know who those people are?
I'm sorry, I don't know who WHFMA is, I don't think that is Kate. Let's see that.
All right. Well,
So do we discuss it without her, or do we wait?
I would at least, if we have a code enforcement officer here, I say we get some information,
Sure,
Great.
and then we can always bring her back.
sure.
So there's 2 issues. One involves the trees, which I believe you all have the photos in the packet. That show the 2 large willow trees and one of the hostas and some other shrubbery that used to exist. Section 15P, of the shoreline zone ordinance. Talks about storm damaged trees. Apparently the willows came down in storm. And in that section that describes, storm damaged trees do not need to be replaced, but the area where they existed must be allowed to revegetate naturally. And there are stipulations as the that must be met, or replanting is required. So The first stipulation is the area from the storm damaged tree is removed does not result in new lawn areas or permanently cleared areas. That's number one. Number two, stumps from the storm damaged trees may not be removed. Okay. The third involves limbs and pruning, but the fourth says after one growing season, no natural regeneration or regrowth is present. Replanting of native tree seedlings or saplings is required at a density of one seedling per every 80 square feet of lost canopy. So 3 out of those 4 criteria apply here. It resulted in new lawn area, the stumps were removed, and there is no new natural growth, so replanting is required at a rate of one seedling every 80 square feet of lost canopy. And your images show the canopy basically went from the door that says Village Inn all the way to the end of the building at a depth of, probably 30, 40 feet. So canopy doesn't have to be one big tree. It'd be great if the willow tree is planted because they absorb so much water from the soil that it would dry out, and it does leave a lot of lawn space below the trees while providing great canopy. So ultimately, that's probably what should have been done, but it wasn't. And here we are now. We have to address the issue.
How many seedlings would be required now? Is that 2 or 4?
I haven't measured the square feet, but 1 per 80 square feet of lost canopy. And again, canopy can be low, can be
Right, yeah.
I mean, a hosta. And. Let's see, the sapling. But, it's one of those things we try to work with the person
Mhm.
to come up with something that's viable.
Yeah.
Because the other thing we don't wanna do is. It's got a great water source, it's got great sunlight. If you put in all pine trees, it's gonna be a forest in 5 years.
Yeah.
And they're gonna choke each other out, so there's, try to apply a little bit of logic to the rules. Okay. So that's what my end game would be.
And is that something that you would work with the property owner on to identify those trees or identify what should be planted or could be planted, or would you,
Come up with a plan that,
together with the property owner, you come up with a plan?
Do we have any notes anywhere from when these trees originally were storm damaged, when they were looked at, when whoever was code enforcement officer?
I have no notes.
And see, that's kind of the problem we have with a lot of the stuff that's going on. We're trying to get people to redo. It's some of the things that happened when before Hans has been code enforcement officer.
Oh, they did, did they come in the microburst, go down the microburst?
They were before the microburst.
Before that?
Well, when was the microburst?
4 years ago.
It was my understanding, it's 2016, the trees came down.
I
Yeah,
think it was 4 years ago.
So
Does
that was,
2016.
that sound right, Craig?
Yeah, I
21.
don't remember the exact date, it could have been in that microburst.
Yeah,
These
that's
trees,
no, these trees were down before that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2016 is when the trees fell down.
9 years ago.
yeah, I've got satellite imagery. That has date, that's.
And that's kind of the problem that I have with all this. I mean, I understand the codes and everything else, but I also. Without notes from our last code enforcement officer telling them what they had to do, it's very hard to go back and. Make somebody do stuff, especially if they didn't, some of the stuff I think. What's what happened?
Well, the,
So that's-
sorry,
No, that's, go ahead.
violations stay with the property regardless of ownership. And the rules were in place back then, regardless of bad advice or good advice. This is what should have been followed, the stump should have remained. It should not have become all lawn covered with picnic tables. Something needs to be put back. I've emailed the situation to Coleman Park to discuss it with him. He's the regional coordinator for the shoreline zone and the best area. And he agrees it needs to be done. And this isn't the only place that I'm acting like this. Everybody else is compliant. But I've had no communications, no cooperation. And that's why my last resort is the fine. And I really, why I put the fine in your hands is so you're aware of it. You're signing off on it. It's a recommendation to you. You don't have to take my recommendation. You can give a 10-day consent period. I mean, you can do what you want with it, but this is my recommendation, but this is how people come to the table and start to work proactively. The second issue, if you want to move on, is the tent. Tent is a structure, and section 16 of our ordinance says any structure needs permit. It's not permitted. If she had gone through the permitting process, she would have been told that it's simply not allowed that close to the water. It's within 100 feet, within 50 feet. And by ordinance, it just simply shouldn't be there. Again, the situation, there's been no cooperation or communication, so I have no idea what the intent is. And that's why, again, there's a recommendation of a fine.
And so the recommendation of the fine is $2,500 for each of the two issues, for the missing trees and for the tent.
And again, it's a recommendation.
Right.
You can do as you wish with it.
I'm wondering if Kate's here, if she would like to say anything.
So I did just email, sort of a lengthy, statement that with documentation of the correspondence and photographs and, my appeal throughout the course of, my communication with funds and, Laura and, in lieu of the appeals board, review process, which, I'm not sure why, isn't, wasn't the kind of the next step, from what I understand from Lorna, that the board is, that board is not available to review, or the appeals board's not able or available to review, appeals at this time, so, I requested, an appeal and then, have come to the, the meeting, and again, I appreciate your time, everyone. So I have a statement that I did send, and I don't know if there's a way that can be shared or entered in as evidence. Because I think it's important that happen around the documentation. I can read through that, but I think it would be helpful for all of you all to have that as you look at it, or as you listen to me. I don't know if that's possible.
You have the email, you can print it off.
Is that something you could print, Lorna? I'm sorry, I was late. I just had some, I didn't come up with the, at the end, with the guest who's, has some ADA compliance issues, so I think I'm written, I thought it would be able to. And I don't know whether, is there, am I allowed to ask? Is the Board of Appeals, like, as I know that's a customary process for, set out by like the state statute, is that not available in Belgrade, the town of Belgrade right now, or is it? Lorna graciously offered for you all to hear, and I don't want to take up the time if that board is available, and that's the process that I should go through, because it's outlined that I should go through that process first. But it was determined, or, communicated to me that I should come to you as opposed to doing that first. I just want to do everything correctly. So, I'm just trying to follow whatever, path, I've been told. So are you all aware of anything about that?
Let's wait until Lorna comes back.
Yeah, I wanted to find out what Lorna actually told you.
Okay. Thank you. And is there a Wi-Fi password or something?
It's
Or
right up on the wall.
Second. These pages are so grainy. So this that's missing now over here.
Yeah, and these are.
Traffic on 47 is only gonna be up. When have you been done? Have you seen
Yeah, one mile ago, they took the pavement, put it over the gravel. They grinded it.
Except for one strip of tar, it's like a minute.
That grinding of the thing, so.
The guy-
All the way from-
the guy-
like, close to 6 months down.
I don't know, it's rough going up there. I went there on this Sunday.
Yeah.
It was bad.
The gentleman that was parked up from the building said that they need non-material. So he's like, don't get too excited, because we're just gonna skim what we can skim this year, we're gonna redo it in next year.
Yeah, they messed up.
That's like the worst idea.
They're not paving this year?
He said they-
Skinny mix over.
Because he said they did something wrong,
Oh, no.
the prep and
How
what
does
they
that
used
happen?
was wrong,
Like,
so they're
in
gonna.
today's
redo it.
Remember that, they did that around that corner, that scary corner on 225?
Oh, that got slippery.
Remember?
Yeah, motorcycles were.
Yeah, people were.
Yeah, we had to pay the last
Yeah.
And I kind of make the wrong thing.
Is it so expensive to start?
All this labor and time and.
Right.
They ground up, I know up a mile hill, they ground it,
Yeah.
it's all the way down to gravel again, but like.
Horrible.
And then got a good bang and then. Oh man, I think we do.
Yeah, it's like fast game in school, down,
That's mine, but.
down past school, it fast. You try to-
You see all these. Yeah, he said they prepped it incorrectly, and now the material they're using isn't correct. So it didn't.
So, I don't think it's falling in,
There's one on there.
no, falling into what the basic putting down. I don't know what. You see, that's the issue.
We have 3 extras. I don't need one, I'll read off my computer, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Be helpful for everyone, I don't know when I'm allowed to speak and when I'm not.
I think it would be helpful, at least for me, if we could just take a look at
Of
this.
course, absolutely.
Well, as if this is a lot of complicated information to do with on short notice. Huh?
It's a lot of reading.
Yeah, this is taking up a lot. Yeah, a lot. It would have been very helpful if we could have had this before to look at this before the meeting.
Well,
So what is it that we need to determine tonight?
it's the
Whether
board's
to
pleasure, if you wanna,
let the fine stand or to delay the fine while we look at this?
I would like to have a chance to look at this.
You could do a consent agreement, 10 days, get everything taken care of. Work with code enforcement. That way
Or
everybody
could we
wins.
postpone, make our 10 days, 14 days, so it's give us
To our
a
next
chance to
meeting.
read through and take up at the next meeting?
Picking up at the next,
Yeah.
we can review all this.
But in the meantime, perhaps Hans could.
Right, if we can get this figured out before the next
Yeah,
meeting.
I don't know that
Yeah.
we have to solve this problem. Is this a
Right.
select board problem to solve?
No, the select board, I think Hans recommended in his last notice violation letter that he was recommending or turning it over to the select board to impose a fine. But I think what everybody really wants is just to bring things into compliance.
Yeah.
If we could do that in a short amount of time so that he feels good, the town feels good, we've upheld, the
The shoreline
parameters of
zoning
the
ordinances.
ordinance.
And I did see that Hans showed me the paperwork there that says the Board of Appeals doesn't get involved with the fine and
Right.
stuff, so that's why it's coming to us.
Yes.
They don't handle enforcement actions,
Yeah.
and, what we have is very clear violations of ordinance that was written years ago. And,
That's the issue that I have, I think, is, and what I had emailed to you and is as of yet unanswered email as to why the Seven Lakes Alliance that had a tent erected within the setback, exactly the same code enforcement infraction. 2 days after you served me a letter of violation, you called them and offered them a post dated tent erection permit. That's why I'm weary of
and that's,
any stay of sort of, oh, we're gonna give the village an fire, we're gonna close this or that, where I asked at that point, and which is in all of this email correspondence, why these two code enforcement infractions. That's why I'm trying to find out where the.
I don't wanna
discrepancy is.
enter a debate here.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the parallels.
Well, that's why I'm saying maybe it would be wise for you all to review all the documentation, because I have photographs of both sites. Within 2 days of each other, receiving opposite decisions from code enforcement and have not gotten an answer.
Okay, we will review it.
And they, in addition, they made arrangements to have their tent removed as soon as possible. These tent people don't just drop everything and come when customers call. So their tent was removed. They did everything they could to comply. Okay? They did use it for the weekend and you're still using yours.
Right, and we just had an event also last weekend. So, that's kind of the thing is we've had this tent. I don't mean to step on you, Hans, but we've had this tent of during COVID for the entire summer and the next summer and the next summer. And then when all of a sudden everyone is, whether or not, and to your point, when we spoke, you did say, hey, this has been a code violation for however long. It was never enforced before. No one knew about it. So, you levied, fine recommending fine recommendations for me, offering a permit application for them and saying to allow the village in a recommendation, or a permit application would be a waste.
Yeah.
This is an important distinction, would be a waste of resources.
Let's stop for right now, though. We need to read through this thing. Obviously, there's violations. I mean, just because it's been going on, doesn't mean it's not a violation, so.
Completely understand.
So what I'd like to do is, if we can, is read through this. Possibly hold the fines in 14 days until we can read through this. And in the meantime, see if we can get everybody in compliance.
Well, the tent needs to come down, it's simple.
Right, so
That takes
it
care of
has to come, and that's one of the things to become in compliance, so the tent's obviously gonna have to.
That's all we've ever wanted to do.
So, Bruce.
The other thing is maybe recommendation that you guys maybe do as an executive, because a lot of this probably doesn't need to be aired out in the public, it's not fair to Hans, it's not fair to Kate.
Yeah.
For this to be aired out in the public, it's up to you guys, but.
I don't think it
It
doesn't fit,
qualify for
it doesn't qualify.
Yeah,
The
there's
difference,
only couple things you can do in executive, that's the
Okay.
problem.
another great difference is one entity did everything they could to comply as quick as they could. The other entity, no communication, no compliance, and absolutely fine. So
Well, like I said,
That's
if
not,
we can get it together in the next 14 days, while we're,
the tent needs to come down.
right, so I mean,
that's not, yeah.
the tent needs to come down, it's go down and find out what she's planning for stuff.
You can do what you want with the fine, but there's other state offices that are watching and they need to see the tent come
And
down.
I understand, and that's why I know it has to come down, because it's, DEP and everybody else is gonna stack it. So, let's find out if you're meeting the planting criteria for the 80 square feet. And let's get the tent down, in the meantime, we'll review all this, and if everything in 14 days has been complied with, then we won't have to worry about fines.
So I move we table this, I move we table this discussion until our next select board meeting on August 19th.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? See if we can get this hashed out before then.
I'd like to present Kate with the shoreline zone criteria for the replanting guidelines. Have you seen ordinance at all?
I don't think I've been given that, no.
Sounds like a good idea.
Do we put them on this room there?
Are
So
we,
they can continue.
are we done here?
Yes,
Here, yeah, so we're gonna table it till.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it, I don't know, what the. Again, I didn't mean to take up, the time, other than this was the option provided by Lorna, and is the appeals board, it's not, when there's a recommendation of a fine, I'm just not understanding what the
Yeah, and I think
Stipulation is-
Hans can show you that
He'll explain
as
that.
part of that paperwork he's got. So,
Okay, all right, thank you, I appreciate
Okay,
it.
thank you.
thank you. So we'll read through this, so.
Yeah.
We can actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of,
There was a lot.
lot of stuff there.
Next unfinished business is concerns and pump complaint. Should have brought my other glasses. These don't have it. Additions to the communication policy.
So you reviewed a draft, policy at your last meeting. There's quite a bit of discussion, concerns about being, kinder, gentler. So completely redone, and hopefully that meets, the draft.
And that's on page 3, Lorna, am I correct? That's
3 of 9, yes, yeah, the blue,
Right.
the blue is the addition.
That's what it is.
One,
Yeah.
I would like to see us
I mean, there's.
do one of two things, call it compliments and concerns instead of concerns and compliments.
Mhm.
And I sort of offer, maybe we call it kudos and concerns, that we make it warmer and gentler, but that the first thing isn't a concern, the first thing is a positive. And then a negative, or a possible negative. So,
That's fine. I don't feel strongly about kudos versus compliments, but I agree that it's nice
Yeah.
to start out with the
start
positive.
out with a
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
It sounds nicer.
So then in the first paragraph, we want to say, respond to program and service delivery compliments and concerns.
Right,
Reverse that order
just reverse it all the way through.
all the way through. I don't know if it's mentioned other places. Now, it says, write a letter to the town manager or board of select persons. Do we want to say in there? Contact a select person? I mean, we had this discussion at the last meeting that we don't want to forbid or prohibit, deter, members of the public from contacting select people. So do we want to just say,
Could we say notify instead of write a letter?
or just contact the town office, contact the town manager or a select person? I don't know. It just seems like, if they have to write a letter to the select person, maybe they would just prefer to make a phone call.
So you could say, instead of write a letter, just say contact,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Contact the town
Call the town
manager
offices, contact.
or
Contact the town
any
manager
or
board of
any
select
of the,
person?
or any
Or
member, or
select person.
any member of the board of select persons. Especially Dan Newman chair.
Poor Dan.
That's okay.
That's
But I
what.
just think to make it a little more general. In terms
Yeah,
of,
sure, sure.
And instead of just stop by, it could be or stop by, you can do either or,
Right.
stop by the town office and speak or talk. However you want to word it with the town manager.
yeah,
Or,
so take out do you want to leave it call the town office or check that out? Contact. Call the town office, contact the town.
Call the
manager,
town office, contact the town manager, or
Or-
reach out
Or any
to a
member.
member of the board of select persons.
I wouldn't say reach out, I would just say contact the town manager or any member of the board of select persons. Which they can get any number of ways.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Stop by the town office.
Yeah, or stop by the town office and speak with the town manager, or if they want to, they can fill out a formal complaint. Form,
compliment, concern.
whatever you
Carol.
wanna call it.
Gotta think positive, folks.
I know.
I'm positive, I'm confused.
And here's where it's Fire and Rescue Association instead of auxiliary.
That's right. Oh, associations and auxiliary.
I know I saw it. I was thinking it was further back. I thought it was ignorant, but I guess this is a
Auxiliary, right?
association.
Oh, my apologies. Okay, yep, found it.
So if we can get that done, then we'll come back next meeting and hopefully be able to vote on it. Is that?
Yes, now I unfortunately had my editor's hat on.
Uh-oh,
While I was reading this, and there were a number of other, just kind of minor things that I found in this, since there's no longer a communications committee,
Right.
an active communications committee. There are a couple of references to the communications committee that maybe should come out. So I don't know if we want to take the trouble at the next meeting to look at some of those. I didn't have a chance, I'm sorry, to send them to Lorna in advance.
I think she could probably go through it real quick as she goes through the document,
Yeah.
try to fix some of that stuff.
Yep, I can update and bring a updated draft to you
Yeah.
for the 19th.
Mhm.
Would that work?
Right,
I think that would work. Yeah,
Okay.
that worked for me.
Yep.
I can give you my scratches if you want to just vote it on this.
Sure. Sure.
I think this is a lot simpler, this just having this paragraph in here.
Mhm.
allowing
Yeah.
people to-
Yeah, you
Do
had
what they gotta
mentioned,
do.
yes, you had mentioned last meeting to just something short and put it
Yeah.
right in here, so.
Yeah.
I thought that was a lot better.
So do we want a motion to postpone it to?
We have a question.
Anthony's got his hand up.
Oh,
Oh.
Right.
oh, there's
Anthony.
it.
First of all, are you folks aware that there's no video from your owl at the moment?
Yes,
No.
there was an odd noise that came from the owl and it,
Okay. I will soldier on.
If-
I'd like to just raise oh, there we go. Good, thank you. So I'd just like to raise a question. What is the purpose of this section? I mean, I think, first of all, I think a 9-page policy on communications is overkill by about 7 pages. But what is the purpose of trying to dictate how people, either pay the town a compliment, which just seems odd to me. Why would you need to put that in the form of a policy, or to raise a concern?
I think it just gives us a streamlined way of handling concerns, complaints, compliments, so that there's accountability on the part of the town and the person either giving kudos or expressing a concern or a formal complaint. And there's a paper trail. It's public, it's you're following up, you're accountable.
Well, I honestly don't think citizens should be held to some standard that they have to follow some procedure in order to exercise their constitutional right to voice a concern or a kudo. And I honestly, I don't understand this. Before your bullet points there, you say a concern is an expression of dissatisfaction related to a municipal program, service, facility, or staff member. This does not address inquiries. Well, can a concern not be in the form of an inquiry? Like if I'm raising a question about something that is concerning to me, and I have the same question about feedback. I think a concern can also come in the form of feedback. I think criticisms is a synonym for concern. So I'm just not sure what is trying to be accomplished with that. And frankly, one of the criticisms I have of our select board is I've emailed you folks numerous times, and I think I've only gotten a response ever once when I admitted that I had made a mistake in something that I had written. Then I got a really speedy response with that. But, most of the time when I email you folks, there's no acknowledgement of all about any concern or compliment that I might lodge with you folks. And I just don't think that's good public service. I mean, you folks are here to serve the community, and if a citizen reaches out to you, I think it should be acknowledged in some form or fashion. And you have a 9-page communications policy, and it doesn't even result in a citizen's concerns or emails or whatever the case is being acknowledged in any sort of meaningful way.
I voiced this opinion when this first came out. I'm in the same agreements. I don't see why you need a policy to make a complaint or a compliment in this town. It's foolish.
I think,
We're getting overloaded in this town with policy after policy after policy after policy, making things so difficult with just a simple thing.
I guess my question is staff, select board, or citizens actually using this policy? Like, do they go to the policy before they determine how they're going to communicate with the town, with the citizenry, with staff? I kind of doubt it.
you bring up some good points. I think that this was encouraged by one of our school board representatives who talked
Well,
about
that
the school board having, you know, an official complaint policy. I'm not saying that that's where this originated, but I think that there's
She did send a letter.
encouragement.
He did.
Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, it doesn't mean you folks have to adopt it as a policy. It's overkill.
Thank you.
And if you really are concerned about communication, respond to a citizen's email. That's public service 101.
You do get communication from.
I'm talking about my elected officials, Lorna.
I wanted to clarify that you did get a response.
And not every email that I send to the select board, I CC you on.
So, are we going to table on this?
Yep, I move we table this.
Second.
Did you second? I apologize, Carol.
Carol.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor of table on this?
An indeterminate date.
Yeah, well, let's,
Come back and see if it changes and
yeah,
see what we want to change on.
next one is Center for All Seasons Pathway, RFP.
So you reviewed an RFP, and bids at your last meeting. But there was discussion that the parameters, in that original RFP were not ADA compliant. So I've been working with Hans, Kristen, Corey, Jason.
DEP came.
Yep, DEP came, and they gave us a couple of choices for the path, either gravel, packed gravel, or, that Trex, decking
Trucks,
material, which is super expensive, but they were totally agreeable with the compacted gravel. It's a mixture of, 3/8 or 3/4 inch minus plus fines, packed really well, to more of a more smooth surface, especially in, shoreland. So, we did come up with another RFP with those parameters that do meet the ADA guidelines and, approved by the state for use, in shoreland, the 100 feet. The path is still 475 feet. They did make it more of a straight path. I think it was Laura that came out.
Yeah, we made it more of a straight path to address the runoff
Right.
in the long term.
Water issues.
And this meets ADA still?
Yes,
So it's
Yep.
4 feet and then it goes to 6 feet.
Seems like the
and-
gravel would be easy to maintain too, to keep.
Yeah,
keep up
they
with
just
it.
emphasized.
And a lot
packing of
cheaper.
it. Yeah.
so it's 6 feet for a period and then it turns into 4 feet.
But that's funny though, because when you get into shoreline zoning and you look at shoreline zoning, it says bark or crush a stone, and it has to be a meandering path.
Mhm.
So I don't understand how it can be
Gravel
different
and
things.
straight.
I did take it over to Travis Mills Foundation, they are ADA compliant, but they are not DEP compliant.
Right.
So their pavement goes to the lake, and I wasn't going there,
So
but I've seen it.
Does that path become a structure?
The path is all pavement, and then they have portable wooden ramps that go into the lake.
When we do our
The
gravel
gravel, no,
light, it won't become a structure?
no.
Okay.
No,
I
because
thought like
it's all
Seven Lakes
natural,
Alliance parking lot was
organic,
considered
yeah.
a structure.
no, it does not become
Okay.
a structure.
Pavers.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do already have an existing concrete path there that can stay, and it's extension off from that.
Isn't that compacting very similar to what's in the Village Green that was put down for the pathway in the Village Green, which is not paved? It's
Correct.
compacted solid,
Correct.
Right,
right, same thing.
It's
And
a
they're
little different
having people that
mix,
have
but-
used that with wheelchairs and so on, and it has
It's a little
worked.
different mix to meet the shoreline
The
zone,
same
but it's
concept.
very similar.
I would think then, you know, Corey could have a pile somewhere, and as it needs repairs, he could
Right.
use that for that
Right.
purpose to keep up on it.
Mhm.
And so DEP is okay with this.
Yes,
Yes.
she was there last week,
yes.
Wow.
and Hans has that written.
That kind of blows my mind, but
Yeah.
Yep, well,
as long as it meets the criteria.
if they're good
And,
with it,
and we have a grant that probably we're gonna be able to be under budget or closer to budget than if we did tracks.
The ARPA funds, that were allocated, I believe, 27,000 or 27,500. So I think once we put this back out, that will be well within,
It's pretty much
Well-
the same, just the different top coat.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
And on page 2, the project. This is a reasonable deadline to just have 1 month.
We have been told it's a reasonable deadline.
Okay.
yes.
We're also told the buildings are gonna be down by now.
That's correct.
I'm good with it if everybody's,
I
DEP and everybody else is happy,
Meets the criteria.
okay with it then.
Yeah.
before they change their mind.
Yes, we
Yeah.
have that, we do have that written.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I got it in writing.
I was gonna
Just
say.
because it's written doesn't. I had a nursing home up in Skowhegan years ago, had the fire marshal go in, and they were Alzheimer's unit. And they had a fence around back, and they had to put in a swinging gate so an ambulance could get out there. And for years, the fire marshal came and inspected it, yep, everything's good, the gate's swinging out. We were on vacation one year, next year, different fire marshal came in while I was on vacation, said, your gates are wrong, you gotta change them. So they changed the gates to swing them in. Next year, the original fire marshal came back. Your gates are wrong, you gotta change them, so they swing out.
Oh, my God.
So, let's do it while we got, before they change their mind.
Right.
so I move we approve the Center for All Seasons Pathway RFP as presented.
Okay, I'll second that, but I have, I have a question on page 5. At the top. First, it says, companies interested in providing requested services must submit the following information in the order prescribed below. Cover letter and contact information. I don't understand why is that, should that be like letter A? Is that a heading that it says cover letter and contact information? It's just kind of sitting there, so I didn't know if that was.
I think it was an A in your original edit.
Do you think so?
I thought it was.
I'll make a note here.
Okay,
Make that an A, so you go A3.
yeah, I think they went A through whatever. On
Some,
your original
when you take out spacing and read.
formatting issue.
Okay, I've made that note here, so I'll fix it.
Okay.
Thank you for picking up on
Sorry.
Oh, no.
I know, I'm the nitpicker, I'm sorry, it makes sense to me.
All right.
Okay.
We got a first and second.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Nothing? Center for All Seasons, mobile devices policy.
Okay, so you reviewed a draft cell phone policy. This has been updated, simple, and we do not have a policy in place right now.
First,
I made a suggestion at the last meeting when we discussed this, fire and rescue should be exempt from that, because I've even done even more thinking about it, is. Fire and rescue, a person that's on duty for fire and rescue has a different job than other people do. They're, at times are waiting for a call, and at times you have a bad call, you need to come back and be able to de-stress. Sometimes de-stressing is, going on and doing a game, or listening to a book, or listening to music on your phone. We do a lot of bad calls in this town. You need the opportunity to debrief.
And it's a 24-hour shift for
And it's a
me.
24-hour shift. I mean, I just did a 3-day shift, so.
I think that's a good point, I think.
I mean, no other agency that has fire and rescue as a full-time has a requirement, but they can't use their personal phone devices for gaming, listening to books, music, they can download, lots of times we use it to Google for equipment,
Yeah.
or look at it, what's coming up for equipment, or
Yeah. Well, the policy says, the activities listed above are permitted during breaks or lunch hours. So, when fire personnel comes back, fire rescue comes back from a call, that could be considered being on break. But if you think it should be specified, then we can.
the only thing I think is that because, management changes, I mean,
We could put a one line that says, I just wrote it on mine, fire and rescue personnel are exempt from this policy.
that's
Just
perfect.
one sentence.
Yeah.
The other question I have says, they're not able to use their portable phones. Are there times when you need to look something up? So you grab your phone and you look it up in order to help answer a question for someone registering. I'm just asking, I mean,
But everybody's got a, desktop PC with access to the internet,
Okay,
so if
so
you
they could
needed
do
to
that.
look something up.
I'm just thinking, are there times when you would need to
Well-
look something up in the course of your work? Not that you're looking up a game or a whatever, so just,
You could,
I don't know if there's a way to acknowledge that.
right, you could need to use your phone to Google, how to put this together, or how to, do this, or whatever, yes, and it.
If you need to use your personal phone, as a result of your work or something, or I mean, if you're out, you have a flat tire, you need to Google, I might need to Google, how do we do this? A long time since I learned that, I'm just saying, I think there might be occasions that, so we should say, that's allowed, if it's work related, maybe.
Probably
You're
just have
looking up-
something in there that makes it, some of this stuff subject to your supervisor's approval.
Yeah.
Because if the supervisor says it's okay to do
I mean,
it.
to only be able to call them during emergency or. Not really seeing it.
Can I ask a question? Is this a policy that's already in place?
No, we don't have a policy.
Okay, so I guess it's a two-part question. The second part is who's gonna police this? And, the third part is, I think it's easy to misconstrue this policy. I mean, I was at Long Pond Beach today with Hans and I legitimately forgot my work phone at the center and was on my personal phone looking up measurements and licensing for buoys, so if somebody had come into the park at that time, first of all, how do they know if it's my work phone or my personal phone, right? And it looked probably, I was in a bathing suit in the lake measuring, right? So it looked like I'm out for a leisurely stroll for a swim with my personal phone, maybe taking selfies, maybe taking.
Having left your brain
If
behind.
you get that complaint tomorrow, that's what it was. So I'm just wondering, is this just common sense and it's not even an issue and we need to have the policy? Or it's been an issue and so that's why it's being brought to the forefront?
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
What someone thinks is common sense.
and I get that. It isn't always.
And it's hard to,
And it would be up to department heads to enforce.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just
Their
think of the
department.
center, we have a basket that all my counselors put their phones in it, and then unless they need it for a text that I've sent in a group to
Right.
play a game,
Right.
that's always in the basket, but that's me taking responsibility for implementing that.
right,
So I guess that's the question,
But really, there's no policy, so you can't really make them
Right.
put their phones in the basket if someone challenged it.
Well, they could go home for a half day.
But there's no policy.
I know. I
There's
mean,
no
I guess if
policy,
you
so
wanna
we
fight
can't,
about it.
so we can't do that.
I mean, technically.
Unwritten.
That's
It's
why,
an unwritten policy for
Right.
you and they agree
Right.
to it, so
Right.
that works, you know.
I guess the question is like, how are you gonna police if I'm carrying two phones all the time? How do you know which one's my personal and which isn't, you know, like,
I don't necessarily think it's the policing. I think it's there so that if you have somebody that spends their whole day playing a game. and
Gotcha.
you Talk to them 3 or 4 times.
okay, you have
And
something.
you decide to fire them,
Gotcha.
you've got something that you can fall back on. that
Okay.
can stand up. I don't think it's because we want people to enforce this all the time.
Right.
I think it's because we need,
There's an issue that you need to address right now, so you need a policy to be able to do that. I got you.
Well, and we may have to address in the future, but
and I don't think this needs to be a standalone policy. I think this needs to be added to the personnel policy. It's just part of the normal
Yes.
personnel policies.
Yes. Agreed.
Again, I don't want more standalone policies.
Right.
I didn't format it as standalone, so it could be plugged into our handbook. Yeah.
Makes sense.
You know, like I said, I think most of it should be subject to supervisor's approval.
Mhm.
You know, as a supervisor says, like. Travis tells one of the other EMTs that's there for the day, go ahead and do it, then I think you're all right. You know,
So in the first sentence of the last paragraph, you could say something like,
anybody,
the activities listed above and any other personal activities are permitted during breaks or lunch hours. Or with supervisory, or with supervisor's approval, something like
yeah,
that.
I mean, that would take care of most anything.
Yep.
That would take care of the fire department, that's all it is, Dan McKenzie, or Travis, or somebody would say, your guys are okay doing this, we don't have a problem.
right,
And that way you don't have to say, this group of people is exempt.
right.
Right.
Yeah, with supervisor.
Does that work, Bruce?
I mean. Like I said, my fear is we have a change, if you have a change in management, another boss could take it a different way. What I'm saying is, you know. Another town manager, 4 or 5 years down the road or next year, whatever, you get a new town manager. That town manager may interpret this policy and say, this is what it is. And once things are raised, that's it. I'm having a lot of issues with all these little policies coming down the boat, you know, and it's like, you know, the vehicle policy, I mean, we had a vehicle policy and, you know. Now that got changed, we're back again, but the vehicle, all these other policies showed up tonight, but the vehicle policy is not back on here, I haven't figured out why that isn't back on here again tonight.
It's still being worked on.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's it, Anthony, you gotta stand up.
Yep. Anthony? Anthony?
I'm sorry, okay. I think Dan has proposed a better standard. It shouldn't be a prohibition. It should be, as long as it's not interfering with work. That's the problem, if it's interfering with someone's work, not if they're using their phone. And, you know, I don't know how you know if you've got a family emergency until you actually pick up the phone. So for instance, if I work for the town and my wife is in a vehicle accident, then I'm probably going to be getting a call from a state trooper who's going to be calling me from an unlisted phone. How do I know that I'm suffering a family emergency at that point until the moment that I pick up the phone? You have folks who occasionally contact me with work-related questions on their personal phones because they have my number and I have their number, and that's just easiest for everybody to do. And so, again, I think this is, first of all, kudos that it's only 3 paragraphs long. Sorry if I didn't follow the prior policy in issuing that kudo, but I think a prohibition is, in this day and age, that horse is out of the barn. And so you should say it can't interfere with your work. And then it becomes a supervisory issue, a managerial issue for supervisors to deal with. Lastly, I will add this too, as you hire a younger and younger workforce, this could be an issue for you folks if they're told leave your phone, in the car or whatever.
What we want to do this policy.
Well, I think we talked about making a few changes in it, so I think we need to relook the wording. I know it keeps, but. We haven't put the piece in that excludes or works with fire and rescue.
It's just that one line on the bottom.
Right.
Fire and rescue personnel are exempt from this policy.
Even what Dan is doing, it's, you're leaving it to the supervisor, you kind of give the supervisor, I mean, I'm kind of in agreement with it both either way, but you're giving it, as long as you're giving that supervisor of that department the, okay to say yay or nay, then I think that's a lord.
I prefer it that way just because, again, if that supervisor has to discipline or write up an employee, they've got something in writing that they can fall back on.
Yeah.
That's, I told you you could use it, but I didn't tell you could use it all day,
What about the use of personal mobile devices while at work during regular work hours is discouraged?
And that's fine with me, I mean, because again, it's up to
Instead of-
supervisor to
instead of
determine
prohibited.
how much they're using them. And how much we can.
But I mean, I think, the question was raised about who's going to enforce it, and,
Well, that's what I
it would
said.
it would have to be the department heads.
Department.
Right, it's
Yeah.
gonna be the blatant disregard.
Because it's gonna be the person
that's.
that's working with them all the time, that's in charge, that sees how much they're on the phone.
Right, let's tie it to on the phone.
You spend half your day on the phone. I mean, I get it, where I'm working now, I got one kid that runs around in the parking lot, instead of selling cars, on his phone all day. One of these days, somebody's gonna say something. I can see it happening.
Only if they have a policy to back it up.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did. But. That's, I think there has to be a way so that if you do say something or do disciplines somebody, you've got something that backs you up. Didn't tell me, you didn't.
So are we comfortable tweaking this and just quickly approving it next meeting?
Yeah, I don't think there's too much.
No, I think there's very little that needs to be done, but just make sure, once we see it tweaked, that's exactly the way we want it, and then just approve it. I know it's another week, but 2 weeks, another meeting. So I move that we, incorporate the revisions we've talked about and bring this back at the next select board meeting for a quick approval.
All those in favor? And we make this part of the regular employment instead of, just make sure it doesn't get put as a
Yeah.
separate policy.
To be put in,
Okay, now we're back to some for all seasons on the audio visual.
So we put out the RFP for audio visual bids, the RFP that was approved at your last meeting, we did receive one bid. All of that information is included for your review. They quoted for sound in the gym, video in the gym. And then they had also included something for the social.
We did a
room.
separate bid for the social room,
Right.
because it's something we could grow into, it's not necessary to make us reach the goals essentially that we wanted, and that you guys had requested prior when Rollins did the estimate. So you only received the one bid back in, Rollins backed out of bidding, even though they were sent the RFP, and Lorna and I spoke with them. Essentially, they refused to do a site visit, they wanted to go off photos. And their original bid and first RFP was about 30% higher.
Yes.
With less equipment and less userability, so we decided to put it out again, trying to achieve the fact that as rentals grow, people are requesting microphones,
Right.
other audio.
Yeah.
In something that was gonna be user friendly, that didn't require, Avery or I or another staff member or facilities and maintenance to be present for. So that bid that you're looking at is broken into two sections. One is for the gymnasium, that would be the priority. I think he isolated it with the hallway, but the hallway is the box that functions the system. And then we can add on to it for that additional cost in the social room at some other point. The funds are not there right now, but it will tie into the current system. I was able to do 3 site visits, Camp Moden, Camp Atoka, University of Maine Farmington, they all use AV systems. They do not have a service agreement other than they agree that they will come and service for free at no charge. They spent a long amount of time at the facility. They did sound tests, they did audio tests. They geared this system to a 50 and older population of people who were going to be at town meetings saying what? So they tested it in all areas to see where our dead spots were, and setting it up like we would at a town meeting. So I feel confident in the bid. But that's for you guys to review.
Will this allow you to Zoom from the building or not?
So we would be able to Zoom. It would be ideal to add the video equipment in the social room, which would allow us a smaller, because you always get like that kind of grainy scale when you're in a large gymnasium.
Right,
It's an option. It's not perfect. The original build from Rollins had no video at all. So I think it's gonna be a matter of playing around with the system, but yes, we would be able to video town meetings, which is sort of.
I just think of more and more people that do either weddings or celebrations
Yes.
or
Oh, you mean
celebration
actual
of life
video.
or things like that, so that they can,
I was
Do a
wondering,
live.
town meeting,
Yeah,
yeah, and town
Town
meeting's
meeting.
great,
I would think
more and
town
more of
meeting
our
could
rental people.
get people to be able to watch it.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So we don't get a ton of requests right now from a rental standpoint, but if we're looking to grow those rentals, then it certainly is appealing to people.
Yes.
So it's an extra. The original purpose and the request was to make us compliant, so more people could chime into town meetings or other such events, so.
and I mean, is this something that we would charge extra if people wanted to
We
use
certainly
it?
could add it to the rental agreement.
Yeah.
We have charged extra when Avery or I need to come and cover microphone setup currently and projectors and those
Okay.
types of things. It's not actually in our rental agreement, it's just a verbal, it's gonna cost you an extra $55 or whatever it is. But it is something we can revamp, put it as an add-on.
Most places do have conference centers or
Yeah.
whatever. If you want a projector screen, it's
You
this
pay for
many
it.
dollars.
Right.
If you
Yeah,
want a
yeah,
projector,
Well, I'm
it's
just
$6.
thinking if that money could be maybe
Right.
designated
It would go
for
against back.
future equipment or
Yeah.
the upkeep of that equipment, just, which doesn't need anything formal, but just
Right.
to do that, it would be a way
And
to.
the system can grow, so that was what we wanted. We didn't want something that was gonna be outdated in 2 years and then the
Right.
entire system needed to be replaced. So this was kind of a growth plan is what I asked him to.
Sounds good.
So the total cost is quoted is $19,221.47. You allocated $7,500 from ARPA funding. We do have enough money in rec reserve available to make up that difference, $11,721.47.
And then it would be an additional $5,800 to do the.
Yeah, if you added this whole thing, yeah.
Mhm.
We don't have the money in reserve right now.
Right, yes.
No, maybe we're getting ready to do budget.
Right.
Happy to see the price come down. compared to what it
Yes.
was.
Yes.
Yeah. The price came down and we're really getting more, so we're not gonna be pushing around a giant TV cart from the 90s, which I'm happy about.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the bid is accepted, then we are looking at, probably last week of August, third week of September, for installation.
Sounds
Nice.
good.
It's a pleasure of the select board.
I move we accept the proposal from audiovisual. For the audiovisual bid for the Center for All Seasons from AV Systems of Maine LLC.
The amount of,
Oh, in the amount of, a total amount of $19,221.47. With $7,500 of that in, using ARPA allocated funds. And the balance of $11,721.47 coming from our available reserve account.
second. Okay, I second it. Any other discussion? All in favor? 5-0.
I'm gonna run, somebody leave me dump trash outside of the dumpster,
Oh,
and
no.
I need to
Oh,
go put it
no.
in.
Thank you, Kristen.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I needed a cell phone, right? Have a good night.
Take care, Kristen. Thank you.
To business, community appointments, resignation.
So we don't have any new committee appointments. I did appoint Eric Johnson as animal control officer. He lives in Reedfield. He's serving as animal control in Mount Vernon. He was the backup officer for us, for the last year or so. Certified experience, so,
Was he the one that just got left over for Reedfield?
he left,
Okay.
yes,
Yep.
he didn't get let go. I asked him about that.
So basically, it's just pops down.
He works for Mount Vernon as well. Yep, both gentlemen.
And are we actively looking for a backup?
I don't have anybody yet, but yes, we should have a backup.
Okay.
In case he takes a vacation or something.
Yeah, or if he's busy.
Right,
Well,
yes. Yeah,
really should really try to get it back on. What's required for that? They gotta go through.
yeah, they have to,
certifications,
yeah,
state.
same. They have to be certified through the state, yep, and do continuing education.
All right, we need to do on that. Information. And we'll send out new cards and stuff, so do we all have his phone number? Cause I don't remember his.
I can email that out, let me make a note to email that out to you. He does have new business cards.
Okay.
Already. It's the same phone number that we had previously.
All right, next item is winter sand RFP.
So this is just the standard, what we've used previously, RFP out for winter sand. With a quick turnaround to, have bids back and ready for your next meeting, August 19th. Where we finally got, ordering information for salt from the state, that took forever.
We're requesting up to the same amount of yardage and everything from,
Yes, 6,500,
so basically everything is identical on this.
Yes,
other than the
same.
date.
yes.
Move we approve the RFP for the winter sand mixed with salt. Second.
All right. Any other questions anywhere? No, right, all those in favor? Let's get the bid out there. See what we get back. It's separate, we're doing a separate one for mixing. There's not a lot up here, but we got a separate one here.
No. I know Jason was gonna mix, I think that's part of the road commission, right? That's the only-
Yeah, even RFP is providing winter sand mixed with salt, place and shed.
Is that the, contract?
Service agreement, so. it's-
Yeah, that's the contract, so once we choose, the bidder, then that would be their
That's gonna be that
contract,
contract, okay.
yes.
Copies of it, so I'm just trying to figure out what the difference is.
One is the previous and one is, the current to go out.
So the first one,
Just the
the first one is March 2025, so that's the current.
Correct. Just the dates are different.
Yeah, because it says provide up to 6,500 yards of road sand, screen and mix winter sand and salt at a mixture ratio. Place the mixture into the sand salt shed as directed, so it is all three.
I got 4 different copies of stuff here. So. Okay, just want to make sure there wasn't something separate I was missing. Okay. Other business? Have any other business?
Yes, Pikes gave us an estimate to do the paved driveway aprons that was not included in the RFP. $10,400. I did speak with Jason already. He checked pricing. He could not do it for much different. So he thought that was a good estimate and recommended to the board that you go with that. This and Gerard is the one who sent this over to me, Barasa. He said that he didn't think he was going to use all of this, but he put up to 40 tons of material.
How come this wasn't in?
It wasn't in the
I don't know,
RFP. I told you last RFP, it wasn't in there.
And so where are these,
This
where are
has
these
never happened,
driveway
yeah.
aprons?
Yeah, this has never happened. They've
When
always
it,
turned the
when it
aprons.
rolls out for a driveway,
Well,
and rolls
it's-
back in.
Yeah, I know,
They
but
usually
they always did
include it,
that.
if it's in the RFP, they include
Did
it
you
in the
look at the last
pricing.
RFP we did out for paving? Was it in that one?
I pulled one, I think from 2019 that had it. This is the one that I sent out was the one we used last time. It didn't have it.
They say they did all the aprons on the Wings Mills Road.
Right.
And then no
They
extra
do the
charge.
gravel anyway, but for paving, they charge, there's an additional cost to do the paved driveways.
That's usually all.
And I've had a ton of folks, calling, whether they have gravel or paved
Well,
because of the height difference.
and the other thing that's always been done when we've had paving jobs is Pike has always gone back through and done the shoulders.
I believe that they aren't completely finished yet. I spoke with Gerard because I had a complaint off one of our roads to the Stony
Plus Point.
Point,
Off the
Horse
Horse
Point.
Point Road.
Okay, so I was right, because the pavement was cut when they did the new pavement, so the pavement of the road, Stony Point, was cut. And going from that road up onto Horse Point, people are having in fact, I think Kristen told me that a dump truck got stuck pulling out of one of the sand pits or gravel pits because their back tires got stuck, they couldn't get up over. They had to bring another vehicle to.
Well, she lives on Stony
yeah,
Point
she
Road, and the
does.
pit's just before it.
Yeah,
I don't understand how, we've never had this problem before.
they're going out to fix that, they haven't
Yeah.
gotten to it yet,
But-
I did speak with Gerard this
I don't
week.
understand how this, if we follow the same RFPs that we've been right now, and it's always been done. I don't understand how we're gonna be liable to hold up for another $10,000 on this paving contract. Cause I almost guarantee that all the other companies that probably quoted this, plan on doing the aprons on the driveways. Cause we've never, ever, ever had to do this for an extra $10,000. We've had to come up with more money because liquid asphalt went up. Never, have we had to, I am, and if they cut the driveways, they knew that they was gonna be going back to the aprons if they cut the driveways.
You should go back and double check it, make sure.
I did.
Argue with them, you did go
Jason
back,
and I both looked at it,
oh, you did, okay.
And you,
Oh,
and you
it
went
was
back.
not in there.
I guess my question is why they did it the last contract. Because it wasn't in that one,
It wasn't in this one, so they didn't quote for it.
but they didn't quote for it in the last contract, and there was a ton of paved driveways that they had to deal with in the last
Was it the same
contract.
company?
Was it pipe still?
Yeah,
Guess that'd be a good question to ask. So you're sure that they included it, or we didn't get an extras on
Yeah,
it
we
when they
didn't
did
get
it?
actually one. No, cause I'd have blown up about like I am right now.
I've never seen one of these come back the best.
oh, no,
Now got
has
her
her
hand
hand
up
up.
too.
Yeah, go ahead, Nolan.
Hi, so we've never had to pay more for aprons and I don't know if it's because we copied the last paving contract and the aprons weren't part of that, but because historically they had been, that they continued it. But it's definitely something that if we end up on the hook for an extra $10,000, that we need to make sure that any paving contracts going forward are mimicking the ones that have all the aspects in it. Cause it's like, as Dan knows now in car sales, if you have something previously, your brain automatically moves it forward. So then you get into the new contract or the new vehicle and all of a sudden you're like, where's my heated seats? My other vehicle of this same caliber had heated seats. So we've got to be super specific moving forward, but I know previously they didn't charge us any addition. We've not had any addition to any of the contracts, except for the one that we had negotiated for a fuel increase for snowplow contracts for if diesel went over a certain amount, but never in the paving.
We had back on the pavement, had to go back as the price of asphalt, but that was, we knew that ahead of time.
Yep, and absolutely. And we were all like, we're probably gonna have to revisit this because this is escalating faster than anyone anticipated. But we've never been charged extra for doing the aprons because that's generally, it's general practice. So I guess what we need to distinguish is if general practice now also has to be spelled out. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Thank
They
you.
normally do it at the same time.
The importance is that we're getting calls because people would like these fixed.
Mhm.
Oh, I'd like to fix too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Where are
absolutely.
you gonna get $10,000? We don't have.
We do have 10,000 in the roads reserve. We have 151,000.
So is there a gap right now?
Yes.
Yes,
I mean, generally, when they're paving, they kick out and then come back
One
in, so
would
now you're
think,
gonna have a
right?
double patch.
Exactly. Like I said, they cut the driveways. They cut the driveways planning to do the aprons.
Yeah.
They must have cut them, but they weren't.
So people
They
have
weren't
to
planning
go
on the
over a
aprons, why
bump
didn't
to
they
get
cut the
out of
driveways
the
to the edge of the
driveway.
There's
road?
a tar
Right.
gap missing is what.
You know, cause if not, it'd been like right up here on Foster Point Road. There's a brand new paved driveway that was done just before they paved. They ground that up and they paved right to it. That's what should have happened on the other ones, if they wanted to do the aprons.
When I had mine done, they saw cut 135 and paved right to it.
Right. But they didn't do the aprons.
Right. Well, 'cause yeah. 'cause I
So
don't have-
if they ground these driveways, Pike's responsible to fix them. Without charging us extra. Cause they planned on doing the aprons.
If not, they should have cut it out at the roadway,
Right, should have.
and you wouldn't have a gap.
Right.
Not okay.
So. Even if you have to take it to the town attorney, I don't know, but I just. That's a lot of money and I would hold I'd dig my heels in first.
Especially if we can prove they did it last time with the
Right.
same RFP.
Yeah. $10,000 on.
So do we want to approve this in the event that we can't get them to step forward?
I can,
In the
I can
interest
talk
of
to
these
them, but-
people that are having this big,
If, I guess, how I'd like to see it rephrased is, if. You guys get the emails back and the 5 of you. By email trail agree to it, I just don't want it to. You know. This is a budgetary thing, grants coming out of cap reserve, the cap reserves do come out of our tax dollars.
we can't approve outside of the meeting. Right?
Right,
We can't
Correct.
conduct business
Can't do
outside the
that.
meeting.
Yeah,
so that's.
So I could say we could approve it contingent on, or something to that effect,
Mhm.
so we don't hold people up for 2 weeks with this gap. Does that make sense, or? Or is that, or will it be 2 weeks before they could fix it anyway?
I would assume that they're gonna get right out there. I've already called them this week about the gravel driveways. And about Horse Point and Stony.
It's not a great way to do it, because you're gonna have two seams now, one on the edge of the road, one on the edge of the driveway. It's not how it should have been done.
They meant, what it is they made a mistake when it's paving. So it boiled down to.
I mean, every one of them are
Kristen
paving
said
and the
they-
outside of the machine kicks out.
Pikes
And it
is the
kicks
one
back in.
doing 27, right?
Yeah.
Kristen said in front of the center that she was speaking with one of the gentlemen and that they had used the wrong product or the wrong mix, and next year they're gonna have to tear everything up and redo it.
Yep.
Oh,
I
my
mean-
goodness.
McGraw Pond Road, you got coming from Oakland to Belgrade, unless it's gotten better since I was crossing it last.
No, it's all paved now.
Yeah, but it was all walk, the pavement was all washboardy, the first layer they put down.
This year, the new
Yeah.
pavement?
McGraw Pond Road is smooth as anything now.
It's smooth now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know when they did the first layer, you could feel the ripples.
Well, and as long as we're talking about paving, whatever they did in the village, you go across the
Yeah.
dam and there's a huge
Oh, that's
pothole.
Yes.
And you hit that, and I don't,
I walked
I don't-
across
I
it,
got
and
a
I
hold
looked
of
at it,
David
piece is
and
missing.
Alan about
It's
it.
like a triangle piece and it's missing,
and
it's
that
rough.
needs attention.
That's horrible.
I know you
Especially if
said you
they're-
let him know, but it still needs.
Yeah, I come,
And they're only skimming
I
it.
come over every day. You have to slow right down,
Well, I
to
know, but
nothing.
you know what? Do you know how many people slow right down coming down that hill?
not many.
Well, you take a truck like Dougie's and mine, and Craig's, that is like. That's
Well, why
like-
don't you take the great big
Even
ones that
at
come down
25
10, 11.
Yeah,
miles?
man, 25
Yeah.
miles an hour.
Yeah, you have to go slower.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is it's continuing to wear because it's not being
Yeah.
fixed.
My
And-
car.
But that's Pratt, though. And this is Pine.
No, I'm just saying, as long as we're talking paving, I wanna make sure that I'd be stopping on their doorstep tomorrow, cause it's still not resolved.
Right. Yeah, another 2 weeks, wait, I mean, they're not gonna get there like that. I know how the construction field goes, Craig knows how the construction field goes, Dougie does, Dan even does. They're not gonna get here in a week, and it's gonna be an outside contracted company, that's gonna do it anyway, it's probably be Fine Line or somebody like that.
Yeah, they ain't gonna have to bring big equipment back to do that.
Right, my Chichi comes, does a little handwork.
Okay, so do we need to approve this contingent, or do we wait for next meeting?
Probably proving a contingent is. You call them up and say, yeah, we'll pay for it if you don't pay for it. And then you're gonna sit there and fight with them, they're gonna dig in the heels and say, we're not paying for it. So I don't. I think we need to find out what happened and why it happened. Before we pay.
Before we pay?
Melanie's gonna hand up to you.
Melanie,
I'm sorry, it's actually not even on this, but it's really hard on your phone to get to the comment section. So just leave me on hold for a second, because I want to bring something up after this.
okay. So anyway, I prefer not to authorize this money until we find out what happened and why it happened.
Me too.
Yeah, so
But it
I feel
doesn't-
we should fix it.
Especially
Right,
if
but
they
it
did it last time
doesn't
with.
change that it needs to be done.
No,
Right,
but
but it changes who's gonna pay for it.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
they wanna go in and pay, do it now, right now this week, go ahead.
And then you guys can make it.
Then we'll fight about who's gonna pay for it.
Yeah, exactly, that's what, I mean, if I was you, I would do, you know.
yeah,
like
they need
Danny
to get it done for
said.
these
They need to
people.
get it done and then discuss who's paying for it, we'll find out who's gonna pay for it at a later date. Go finish your project. Have we paid them their final bill, their final,
No,
and I won't pay their final warrant.
I think
so it's
we've
done.
only paid 8 something right now.
Yeah, I won't pay their
You
final
could have
warrant,
a
so
big
it's
one
done.
on tonight's one.
That's how I would do it.
And you could talk to Phil in the meantime,
Saucier,
whoever you wanna reach out to from legal.
we have a contract with them. If it's not in the contract, they're not bound to do it.
But if they did it last time and it's the same RFP with a date change.
Plus, if they round out the driveway back further,
Right.
they're
They
responsible.
grounded out to.
Right, and whatever they ground, they're responsible to put that.
I wouldn't be happy if I had a paved driveway and I had
You see,
two seams. I would, because it's the first thing you're gonna catch plowing.
Right,
it's the first thing it's gonna give out.
Yep. It's not gonna seal like the other two. I would not be happy.
So I
It should
mean,
have
we
been
haven't,
done the
we
same
haven't
day it was being
paid the
paved.
complete bill. So you guys kind of have a leg to stand on because you guys haven't paid them yet. The full bill. So tell them to finish the job, and who's doing the aprons. And then they don't wanna finish it, then you just hope that the payment. That's what most other entities
And it
do.
should have a disagreement clause in the back of the contract anyway.
Yeah.
So are we able to move on? Oh, Melanie, is that for the next one or?
That's for the next thing.
Next one, okay.
Yeah, so what I I was driving during the Village Inn conversation. So I know our code enforcement officer said that the Board of Appeals doesn't hear, like, they don't handle grievances against the code enforcement or rules that had been proposed. But our own ordinance states that they do. So the Town of Belgrade Board of Appeals ordinance states, hold on, I'm gonna get to it. That do. Hang on, sorry, it's a long ordinance.
While you're looking at that, Melanie, we need to finish voting on this pavement thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead and do that and then I'll bounce back to this.
So we're gonna make a motion to table this until we find out what's going on, contacting our lawyer. Find out if they cut them back too far, who's gonna be responsible for it. If our lawyer comes back and says we're responsible for it, we're just gonna have to pay for it. Yes, no,
So do we need a motion to that effect?
Yeah.
I move that we authorize the payment of the $10,400 if it is.
No, we're not authorized.
no.
Oh, we're not authorizing.
No,
No,
we're gonna table this until.
Oh, I move that we table this so we can talk to our lawyer and talk to Pike Industries to see why the aprons have not been paid as they have been in the past.
Second.
All those in favor?
Okay.
And maybe just for Lana's sake, why they round off cut at the road edge, like DOT only does. If they know, you know, if they didn't have a plan on doing the aprons.
How many, do we know how many driveways there are that are like this?
Jason said he thought there were around 4, but, that, I think that was just on, it's just 2 roads. I think that was on just one of the roads, so I think there are obviously additional
Okay.
paved. Plus, they've gotta do all the gravel too,
So-
they haven't done that yet.
So Grandview did the aprons?
I don't-
Most of Grandview's paved driveways,
Yeah,
I haven't,
so they did the
Have you
aprons.
been out on Grandview? to
yeah,
see?
I will be tomorrow.
it's worth the run
Yeah,
out
I
there.
ain't traveled. Yeah.
It's worth the
I'll
run
be
out
taking
there
a
to see
tour,
how they
Rob
look.
Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just thought of that.
Yeah, most of those are both sides of the room.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
actually, I was there, they are done, that was on the driveway.
all right. So we'll move on now. Go ahead, Melanie.
Okay, hang on, it takes me a second to get over to that piece. Okay, so our own Town of Belgrade ordinance states that the duties of the powers and duties of the Board of Appeals is to hear and decide administrative appeal on a de novo basis where it is alleged by an aggrieved party that there is an error in an administrative decision, order, requirement, or determination made by or failure to act by the code enforcement officer, etc. De novo actually means that a case is retried from the beginning as if the first trial never happened. So essentially, it would be the Board of Appeals determination that they would start from scratch with what, I don't know what Kate Beals provided tonight, but it seemed like it was a lengthy document. I was driving, so I wasn't able to chime in during that time. But it looked like she was providing some documents, and essentially the Board of Appeals, their actual ordinance states that they would start from scratch to see whether or not they feel like the decision that was made was appropriate. And under Maine, when I just did a quick AI like chat request, it says in Maine, that the Board of Appeals is who hears grievances from a decision made by the code enforcement officer. So I was, I think, surprised that to learn tonight that our Board of Appeals doesn't do that. Because I feel like the select board is usually the second or third avenue of defense and not generally the first. So I was trying to kind of scope some stuff out tonight, like, am I wrong about that? Because it looked like it got fast tracked to the select board, but
Actually, everything was sent over to Board of Appeals and Richard responded and said that was not something that our Board of Appeals addressed.
What I'm gonna do, Mel, is I can't see these, so it's.
Oh, do you want me to read it?
So I'll just have to
Okay.
read the paragraphs so that, that's from Belgrade Shoreline.
Making an
For
appeal.
clarity, 1 second, what Melanie read pertains to permits and permit decisions,
Okay,
Not code enforcement.
not the code enforcement, so this speaks
Okay.
to the.
This is appeal procedure, making an appeal.
I believe, Hans, that there's actually a different requirement for shoreline zoning. Differences of opinion. That the Board of Appeals would hear something outside of, there were two different distinctions. For shoreline zoning violations, and regular grievances. So I'm just not sure if the town followed the.
yeah.
I have
Hold on,
something to read.
Barbara's got our copy of the shoreline, ordinance, and it has to do with the appeals. And that's what the appeals board sent back to us, so let her read that paragraph to you.
Making
Okay.
an administrative or variance appeal may be taken to the Board of Appeals by an aggrieved party from any decision of the code enforcement officer or the planning board, except for enforcement-related matters as described in section 16, paren H, paren 1, paren A above. Such an appeal shall be taken within 30 days of the date of the official written decision appealed from, and not otherwise, except that the board, upon a showing of good cause, may waive the 30-day requirement. Should I keep going?
That's kind of the paragraph that
Okay.
they sent back to us on.
So was it the 30 days was the problem that she
No,
didn't,
it said accept enforcement actions.
It's the enforcement action, the fines.
except for enforcement-related matters? Okay,
So the appeals board doesn't deal with enforcement, and since there was a fine involved, that's why it ended up coming to us.
Okay, so I just want to be sure, because like I say, I was listening from the sidelines and I was like, I would think that the Board of Appeals would be the first one who was supposed to have that. So
Yeah, and it did go to them and they kicked it back to us.
okay, because I just want to make sure that whatever her appeal process is, that we don't abort her process. And take her right to the finish line.
Yeah,
So,
no.
Yeah.
Right now, we've taken it for 2 weeks trying to get everybody that's involved down there to come up with doing what needs to be done so that we don't even have to deal with this fines.
So is she able to apply for a permit like Seven Lakes Alliance for temporary tent structures when she has a function?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
But
So,
she can't, because it's within 100 feet, right?
She can apply.
She can
Right.
apply,
Anybody
it may
can
not
apply
be
for a
granted.
permit.
Right.
And it goes through the review process, and the planning board is very good about saying, well, you can't do this, but maybe you can do something different.
Yep.
They help, they're like, we help people through the permit process.
okay,
It's not
so what she would want to do then, would be to put a permit before the planning board. To be able to, and I can understand her perspective on it, that, in 2020, everybody had to do things outside. So I understand that there may have been some miscommunication, but if there's a way to, I would hate to have a business have to remove what probably constitutes to a minimum of a fourth of their business to be able to have folks seated outside. I would hate to levy that sort of penalty against a person who's been occupying a facility in the town of Belgrade and did everything they could to maintain just staying open. So I just want for us to step cautiously with folks that have been here for a long time. And if there's a way that we can offer her an avenue so that she can continue to operate, I think that that would be the appropriate thing, even in the intermediate.
Well, right now, like I said, we're working with her over the next 2 weeks. The tent has to come down for status. She can apply for a permit. And then we've got to, the DEP is getting involved right now too, so we're gonna have to do whatever the DEP says. So,
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You get some headway?
okay,
Good.
all right, so we're done. For now, we're moving on to, we're done with other businesses, no
I have a couple more things.
other, okay.
I gave you a copy of the, draft. I had emailed it out, the draft of that, tax bill information. It would be helpful if we could nail that down, so I could get that, posted to our website. So that was one of the things, just to let you know, I put it there for you all to look at, printed copy. And then in my town manager's report, we can wait until then if you want for that. Okay.
First,
Yes, this would've been great if we could have had it out when the tax bill went out. Now, almost pushing 2 months after the tax bill, or 6 weeks, 7 weeks after tax bill was going out, just before taxes are due. I think it's a little too late and it's gonna pick a scab up again. I think that, people have already absorbed the tax bill and gone through it. We should have had this ready and went out a week or so after the tax bill went out, not, this far into it at this point. That's why I kind of brought it up couple meetings ago.
We've been working on it for some time. It's gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and nothing ever finalized.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's a lost cause to send it out at this point.
I don't think it would be sent out. I wouldn't suggest that we send it out. I think it would be very helpful to have this as a reference on the town website, so that if people,
But the
want
other-
information, they can be
The other
referred
thing
to.
is some of us have sent back. Explaining why the municipal budget went up. Someone's sent back some stuff to highlights on that, and that hasn't even been explained out either.
That's a pretty good,
It is,
that,
it's not
that
bad.
explains why the
No.
increase. And it was a collective group of people going back and forth working on this to
Well,
get
I mean,
some sort
the
of a
biggest complaint
final
I've been hearing,
document.
and I'm sure you've heard it from the same person, I know Dougie's heard it from the same person about it, is they complained about, why the municipal budget went up so much, and I had to go through the town report and my budget paperwork to explain, the increases was, one, we had to take a tan, we all knew that hurt, and certain things were not, so I could explain a lot, a lot of it was easy to explain. And once I explained it, he was a lot more comfortable with that.
Yeah, I fielded quite a few calls. Melanie has her hand up again.
hey, Melanie.
And maybe if she didn't take it
No,
down.
I'm sorry, I forgot to take it down.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Bye.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can send it out. I mean, if you get people requesting stuff, I think we could send it to them specifically. And it needs to go on the website.
I think it would be good for the website.
Yeah.
As a resource.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, just trying to send it out to people, I think it's,
No.
but having it up, and I think. It wouldn't hurt my feelings every year having something like this put up and have it done ahead of time, so that it's right on the website. When we
Yeah.
get ready to town
I
meeting, this is what we're looking at.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
but
if-
we won't have it for town meeting because we don't know them
We will next June.
next June.
Once we're on the same.
Once we're switched
school,
over,
We'll be.
I mean, we'd have it
we
when the
should have-
tax, we can have it when the tax.
and we
bills
shouldn't
go
have to do a
out.
tan.
Right.
Right.
Right,
After
but like I
we get on
said,
the
next
same
year,
cycle.
once we change over town meeting, we'll know what school budget pretty much gonna be proposed. We'll know what the county budget's gonna be proposed, and we'll know at that point the town budget, because we're on
Yeah.
a kind of the same fiscal
Yeah.
In the county.
timeline. So we ought to be able to do this every year and have it up.
Should be easier to keep track of.
We won't, I mean, tax bills, I think the first one, what do we say, October and April? So the first half of the bill would be October, so you could actually have something like this, maybe do it. If we wanted to budget, we could do a one-page insert
Yeah,
with the
we can
tax.
see what we can do, but I think having
That way we know
having these
everybody
prepared
gets it.
from now on,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't even hurt to have something like this in the town report, you know,
Right,
we've got something
Right,
that's gonna be
Yeah.
close going, this is what's proposed, so this is what it's gonna look like.
Yeah, it'll make it a lot easier, you know, like I said, once I explained stuff dollar for dollar, that person was, you know.
It at
a lot
least
better.
shows the accurate information, so
Yeah.
it gives people a visual.
Yeah, I mean, doing this for the first time, it's really been done, took some time, and unfortunately, it took longer than we wanted. But I think putting it on the website, absolutely. You know, somebody calls up and you can either point them to the website, or if they don't wanna get on the website, tell them, throw it in an envelope, mail it.
right.
That's good. I'm okay with it. Are we all good with it? At least for the best we can right now.
So I'll get that right on tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're good with it. Anything else on our business? We're just gonna wait for the rest of it.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Okay, so on to warrants.
You gone? Good night, thank you, Hans.
Thanks, Hans.
Barbara. Can you? Well, I've got a cataract on my eye, so it's messing up both eyes
Yeah,
and it's driving me crazy.
yeah, that's all.
I'm trying to read VIN numbers now, I kind
Oh
of
my
one eye,
God.
it's messing me up so bad.
So you take it with your phone and then blow it up.
And that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, how many times have we all done that?
My husband took his prescription glasses to the optometrist and they took out the lens for the eye that he had already had the surgery on and just replaced it with clear glass.
Yeah. Well,
But those
Wow.
are prescription, those are.
yeah, so,
I
Wow.
think of big kids, I showed my daughter a photograph the other day and she looked at it, she goes. I'm like, no, that's not gonna get bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a picture.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. Good technology.
yeah,
Okay,
if
so
you
you want
could
me,
read-
you
yeah,
want
if
me
you
to
could
just,
read that, so I can
yes,
see it.
I would be happy to read it, okay. Okay, so we're starting with. Oh, I have the same thing, okay. Okay, I move that we approve warrant 84 in the amount of $472.63.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? These are simple ones.
Okay, I move that we approve warrant number 86 in the amount of $577.86.
And second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Move we approve warrant number 87 in the amount of $34,599.64.
Second.
Questions on that one? No, all those in favor? Okay.
Move we approve warrant number 88 in the amount of $9,597.12.
Second.
Almost busy.
Yeah, geez.
I'm good with it. Anybody got any questions? All those in favor?
I move that we approve warrant number 89 in the amount of $80.
80.
Up $800.
It says 80.
It says
It has
It
a-
says 80 on the sheet, but on
Did
the,
I have it wrong?
on the warrant,
Put on
it's
the warrant,
$800.
Good job.
$800 for the concert.
Second.
All those in favor? That's expected, I'm sorry.
That was a bargain. Okay, I move we approve warrant 90 in the amount of $5,302.
Second,
All those in favor? Open.
Okay, I move we approve warrant number 91 payroll warrant in the amount of
Different.
37. This, yeah, this is,
47.
no, but it's more than that. On the sheet, it says 37,312.55, and this says 47,160.
Yeah, if you go the
That's what it
down
says.
below it, it's 37.
Yeah, you have, you use the number at the top, the largest number.
Oh,
Cause
I
this
see.
was
Oh,
in
yeah,
the month, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
all
yeah,
the
I'm sorry.
payroll taxes and all
Yeah.
of that,
got it, I'm sorry.
so it's larger.
Okay, 47. Oh, I didn't see it up at the top. Okay, I just saw the 37. Sorry. Okay. Oh, so, you second?
did you make?
I
the
move,
motion?
I move that we approve warrant 91 in the amount of $47,160.18.
Second,
All those in favor? Nothing?
Okay, see if I can do this one right. I move that we approve warrant number 92 in the amount of $949,478.61.
Questions? Do that one? That one's a
Is
big
this,
one.
this is where I saw something, I made a note about the history house.
About what?
That there's an account that's called, here it is, on page 3 of warrant number 92. It's called History House. And we've been told by Sharon and Diane that that's not the correct name for the building, so we might want to change it. Just so it says, that's what our account is called. Or what we call the account internally, right?
History house.
History House, so we should change it to Old Meeting House, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, I think that's what you got.
But I know that they've raised the question that it's not the History House. Why do we call it the History House?
Yeah.
And that's why, because if we have an account that's called the
Because
History
they've always
House.
called it the old meeting house. I mean, as, as in town, we've always, everybody's always called that the old meeting house, even though it's a cemetery.
Anyway, I'm not questioning the amount, I'm just questioning
What it's called.
what it's called. That if they don't want us to use the name History House, then let's not use the name.
New old
History
meeting
House.
house.
It's under the electric.
Oh, CMP,
Yeah, it's the 1, 2, 3, the third one up from the bottom.
so if it's CMP, that's probably what they have.
Is that their nomenclature or is that ours?
It could be.
Oh, it could be
They call it.
theirs. Oh, yeah, then we'll never get it changed. Right. Okay, most likely.
Yeah, maybe what goes on their bill, maybe what they're calling it.
These all look like they're just, addresses, Town of Belgrade, then the address. So Town of Belgrade, 60 Oakland Road, Willis Mills Road.
yeah,
One
Oh,
Center Drive.
so it is our-
So, yeah.
So it is our own account,
Yeah, I
so-
would say that it is.
Yeah, so that's easy to change then. Because that's, I knew that there was some reason why we called it the History House. I had a question on page 7 about the loon cabin, the generators of Maine.
Yep.
Running the conduit, and that had to do with the Dalton demo.
So the power used to go through the Dalton house, and because it's being torn down, we had to splice in underground and continue it down so that it's separately fed now. And we
Okay.
ended up feeding it out of, one of the old,
The old store,
the old store from the
Okay.
campground.
Okay, that's what I thought it was, but I
Yep.
just wanted to. Thank you.
Corey dug it up for us, then we went and sliced it and got it hooked back up, because they're using it right now, so it's kind of a little bit of a,
Please,
I needed to get that done.
yeah.
Then I had one more question on page 11. Nick Pool Training Assistance, that's for helping Penny.
Yes.
Are we about through with that, or is she still needing yours?
He's been helping mostly with showing her how to do reconciliation. I think she's ready to try it on her own now. So we'll see.
Okay, all right.
She's doing very well.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's been moved and seconded, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the check for pipe. This is what, first payment?
This is the second payment. We had 146 or 48,000, and this is the second bill.
Be the final payment?
We don't have the final payment yet.
Okay, as long as we don't.
We don't have the final bill to pay yet.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Because we're 1.7 million
I just wanna make sure
on there.
that, till we get this worked out, that the final payment. I'm not-
Yes, no, and we don't have that one now. Yeah.
I wanna make sure.
Yep.
Cellular here. Every month.
It's around 4, I think. Swapping over to FirstNet though puts us at 2 something. It's a good savings.
I think we always need to think about it. Doing something that's,
Yeah, we already talked about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
swapping over. Yeah,
as long as we can get good coverage out here,
Yeah.
because
the coverage I have is better than what we're getting with the US Cellular. Yeah. I can get coverage over at the transfer station, but Kenny can't.
Yeah, it's terrible over there.
Yeah.
okay, I'm good. If anyone else got anything else?
I'm also,
Okay, well, all those in favor?
Okay, I move that we approve warrant 93 in the amount of $86,767.13. Second.
Motion on that. Nope, all those in favor? I have nothing.
And move that we approve warrant 94 in the amount of $8,167.93. Second.
All those in favor on that? Yes. It's up, 500. I had the second, I had this one.
And the last one. I move that we approve warrant number 95 in the amount of $201,791.28.
That's for the Burgess property. I think she threw a couple of other things.
yeah,
Yeah, one for rec.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple, 2 or 3 there, a couple for rec.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? All right, nothing.
The Trails Committee met last week and spoke with a representative from SAPI on the harvest process, et cetera, just to kind of educate everybody. The committee will meet this week with Harold Burnett, forester of Two Trees Forestry, who wrote the management plan. In addition, some members were able to walk the property late last week, which revealed we may be able to use old woods roads and convert those to trails. Seven Lakes Alliance is working on GPS coordinates, and we should be able to send letters to the 3 government agencies for approval this week. IFNW, Maine Historic Preservation, and Maine Natural Areas Program. Paving is finished as part of our 3-year paving plan. Left to do, we spoke about this, a handful of the driveway aprons I met with Gerard from Pike Industries and received an estimate from him. In addition, Jason Stevens checked pricing and felt he could not do it for less and that the estimate from Pikes was a good one. He recommends the select board approve and take the funding out of his reserve account. I'll bring this to you under other business as it was too late to include on the agenda and in the board packet. They will also be working to complete gravel grades from the newly paved roads to driveways and connecting roads as well. We have received several calls on this from concerned residents. We received a complaint about an electric fence too near the road for pedestrian traffic on the Stevens Road. We have consulted with legal counsel as the town does not have any ordinance or policy which addresses this issue. This will be on your August 19 agenda for discussion. The field use agreement with K-Wisp is still being modified and all parties will be reviewing, so we can get that on your August 19 agenda for review. We have closing documents for the Burgess property and we'll be able to finalize that late this week. We are awaiting a deed to review for the land gift, Knowles Road and Route 135 from the estate attorney. Our road commissioner has provided an estimate if the parcel on Keelan Road was converted to gravel to fit 3 parking spaces in the amount of $2,400. Mean Tech has been busy upgrading all computers from Windows 10 to 11. We have had a request to change a private street name. This will be on your August 19 agenda. We sold 3 items from the list of those available from the Dalton properties. Facilities Director Corey Alexander and I will be looking through the Barton property to see if there are any additional items and then request to put those out for bid as well. There were 26 applicants who qualified for a tax rebate on their paid taxes this year. A report for review and approval will be on the August 19 agenda. All Spirit of America awards have been ordered and received. We should think about making the presentations at an upcoming regular meeting of the board. Reminder, we have the seasonal residents meeting Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. That's next week, August 12th. Elections training to go over changes and updates to the CVR, Central Voter Registration System, and other important requirements will be held August 26 and 27. This is important information and training for our town clerk and her deputies. With all 3 attending this training, we would like to request the municipal office closes on Tuesday, August 26, as we would not have any front office staff to help residents. We also had another complaint about the audio from meetings. I reached out to Reedfield as they were mentioned as a municipality that recordings are easy to listen to. I contacted the town manager there and found out they have professional equipment in place using the OWL for other board and committee meetings only and not select board meetings. We have an old version of the OWL. They do have a much, there is a much newer and advanced model available for just under 2,000. Advanced video and sound capabilities. There's enough money in the select board special line item to purchase. Something to think on and consider if you would like me to go ahead and purchase that. It's the OWL 4. Hans and I attended an invasive species class with 7LA, super interesting. I was astounded to hear that all states have the problematic milfoil with the exception of South Carolina. We received notice that some folks were fishing at swimming areas. I contacted both Corey and Kristen. Signage has been ordered that says no fishing in swim areas. I will follow up with the original complainant to let them know it is being addressed. Explanation, we already looked at this, the explanation of tax expenditures and increases. You looked at an updated draft, so we've kind of taken care of that. So a couple of things there. Deciding when you want to present Spirit of America awards. The elections training, which is coming right up. I think the next training for that is not until mid to late September and it's in Prescott. which doesn't help us, and they don't offer remote attendance.
And where's
You
this
have to
one?
be
Is this
in person,
Augusta?
Augusta, yeah,
Oh,
you have to be in person. So that, and I think that was it. The owl and elections.
The new owl, can you send us out the specs that it's supposed to be able to do? I'd like to, before we spend $2,000, I'd like to see.
I found
the
a
specs
cool
it's supposed
site, it gives you a comparison for all of the versions.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Absolutely.
So if the office is closed on Tuesday, August 26th. Aside from, so does that mean that you and Penny and Hans also wouldn't come, or?
No, I mean, Penny would be here, I think I'm out that day, Hans would be here as well,
Okay.
so they could still work.
They would still,
It just
they would
wouldn't-
still work. It's
Right,
just
it
that we
just
wouldn't
couldn't, we
offer.
wouldn't have anybody in the front office to serve residents doing registrations or licensing or permits or anything like that.
So would the door be locked? If,
You would almost have to.
I would think so.
Yeah,
yeah, and if Hans had an appointment, he would have to go
Right.
and greet the person or
If we're
something.
gonna do that, make sure you put the stacking numbers on the sign, like tomorrow,
Yeah,
start getting it advertised, but
You
send
know,
it out,
Facebook and
Facebook,
everything.
That way,
everywhere else. Cause I don't want people to know they're trying to register something to find out they can't do it.
right. Do we need to vote on this or just consensus?
It's just-
Oh, well, we have
it's a training.
They have to go,
Yeah, we don't have any choice.
they're going to
Better than
training.
Prescott.
so- Right.
So,
I can put that. Staff will be,
Get Charlene
will be
in.
training,
Yeah, for
Yeah.
staff
I'll
training. or
close for staff
Yeah.
training.
right?
Right.
Augusta Fuel's doing it right now, their entire office is closed Friday for training.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they
and
send
you
us
have
out
to do that
letters.
to keep
Yeah.
people current on things, so.
Right, but I think it's important that we get it out right away.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
Because I felt the last time when we closed that Friday, 4th of July, it was just too short. Too short notice.
and maybe the week before, when people come in, remind them, just a reminder, we're gonna be closed Tuesday and Wednesday next week.
Yeah.
So that, you know, if they're thinking, I'll just come back next week and do this.
And so I'll send out the owl information, I'll get something posted tomorrow, about the 26th.
Right,
Yeah, like I said, it should be the sign too.
Yes.
and so for the seasonal residents meeting, how is that gonna be set up? Are we gonna be sitting up here like this?
We didn't,
I don't think we
I
did
think the
last.
last time we had you around this way, remember?
I think we had all the department heads up here and we were down at that end, weren't we?
It was,
Cause the department heads are up
you
front.
were,
'Cause
yeah,
we're not speaking.
No.
Except
Right.
Daniel.
but I think everybody sat around and then we had chairs there, if I
6:30,
remember.
I may or may not be here
Who
on
was
time.
here last year?
I was.
You know, it's.
Do you
it's
remember
a
that?
big year
Weren't
tonight,
we
actually.
here and then everybody
Saw my
sat
car.
there?
I had to talk to him to come in.
I think we're sitting just like
I
this,
wouldn't have been
just the
here.
select board was down at that end,
Yeah.
and all the department heads were
More
around here.
questions for department heads and
Huh?
more questions for department heads than.
Department heads stuff.
Except this year, there may be more questions for you guys because of the taxes. That's why this will be. Probably, maybe you wanted to have this, some of
Make
these
some
for a
copies
handout
and-
for,
I would copy him and put one on every chair.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because this probably be one of your biggest questions.
Yes,
Next
probably.
week is gonna be the. Just a suggestion. to
In
be
case we
prepared
have
for.
more than 3 people.
Right, if you're lucky. Um,
I know.
Lorna. It should be another check, that other warrant that you guys approved, I haven't received that check yet.
a warrant tonight?
I think so, cause there's bills that I presented the 1st of July, haven't been paid for yet,
Are you sure?
possibly.
I'll have Penny go back. Did you send those via email?
Email, yeah. I can have Mary resend them all tomorrow, what's after this one, what hasn't been paid.
I'll make a note to have Penny check her email. If you,
Cause I expected it on the last select board warrant, because I sent my bills in before, you know. Anything it's, I assume it's always been how it has been. But Thursday before the select board meetings, when the warrants
Yes.
close,
that's still the same.
Okay,
Yeah,
I sent a lot of bills in before
okay,
last set board meeting.
I'll make a note to have her check email, if you
It's almost like-
have
yeah.
time to send them again, that would be
Yeah,
helpful.
I'll see if she can,
I
actually, she
apologize
inputs this
for
one
that.
and send it. Well,
Yeah, we'll get those taken care of right away.
One thing that wasn't on the town manager report, one of those buildings coming down.
Well, we told them they either had to do it before camp or wait until
After camp.
after camp, yeah.
And right,
So-
and right now, you couldn't get waste management to even be able to pull them containers at a timely manner, so it won't cost us an arm and a leg. Because we're having a hard time getting them even pull containers at the transfer station, so I think you're gonna have to kind of wait till summer. Rush kind of counts back down like the end of August, mid-September for waste management, so you're gonna be able to keep up with the containers.
Just make sure we keep on it, because I don't want it to get into November or December.
Right.
Agreed,
You want it done before snow.
yes.
Excavator with that.
And do we want to set a date?
I
for
think
the
the
Spirit of
small one was there, getting that
America?
underground and splice.
I
That's
wouldn't
probably what I would
suggest
say.
the next meeting, I'm thinking maybe the first.
So do
meeting.
you want us to do that tonight,
Yeah.
just to set a date for the Spirit of
If-
awarding? the
If
Spirit
you
of
would,
America?
that would be great. We have all of the awards ready
Yeah,
to
we have
go.
them.
Yeah, Mary ordered all of those, are all set.
The first meeting in September is September 2nd, the day after Labor Day. So we have the 2nd or the 16th of September.
Oh, that's the day after Labor Day.
That might be hard to get folks here if they've gone away for a long
Yeah,
weekend, maybe
and-
the
Yeah,
16th
the 16th.
would be better,
16th would be better.
yeah.
The other thing on it, can you plan a budget meeting sometime? We probably all staff meeting sometime.
Yeah, I've already begun working on it, waiting for Penny to finish up reconciliation, so we have a good 6 months to look at, and then we'll be meeting with department heads. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Have we heard anything on? In the state on the water? Bump outs,
nothing,
anything?
nothing yet, oh, they're so slow,
On what?
the
Water,
water,
supply, bump outs, and
yeah. They're really slow.
it's just, it's been years, so it's just.
I'll make a note to
Drag,
email
drag,
Teresa,
drag.
she's the legal gal, she's the one who
And
will
now that
be
we got somebody
working.
new in there, it's just. No, so when a break retires, it's like you start back from scratch,
Yes,
so we need to keep on top of it.
I'll email over to Teresa.
Alrighty. Anything else?
Mhm.
I'm going to take a 2-minute recess before we go into executive session.
Second. All in favor?